Hey everyone, Rollo McFougal here. I'm sure everyone is well aware of the attack against the cold card, how seeds are getting wiped out because the entropy basically did not exist on a lot of the cold card products. And so the best thing to do is if you use a cold card, even if it's something that people are saying is not subject to this attack, it is highly recommended to move your funds off it. Really, the most secure thing that you can do is just use Bitcoin Core. Bitcoin Core is the node implementation. It is the reference client. And so that's what you use to fully validate transactions and blocks and all that good stuff. But there's also wallet functionality in it. And a lot of people might not realize that or might not understand how to use it, especially in a situation if you want to no longer use a hardware wallet and you want something more secure. So the best practice is to use an old laptop, an old computer, wipe it clean with a Linux distribution like Ubuntu, and then install Bitcoin Core on it. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. I'm not going to show you how to install Ubuntu because it's actually pretty straightforward and I don't want to have this video be too long. But what you're looking at right now is the Ubuntu desktop. It is very, very similar to anything that you'd be used to. And anything that you would be doing on the command line, there's a lot of really good walkthroughs. So, as you know, it's kind of what you would expect to see. There's a file explorer here. You can go through and see stuff. But anyway, to install Ubuntu, basically what you want to do is go to ubuntu.com, go to the desktop, and you want to download this on a USB stick, and so that you can plug it into your computer that you want to flash. And there's walkthroughs on here, so I don't want to spend too much time. So once you do that, you want to download Bitcoin Core. You go to bitcoincore.org and follow these instructions. And you want to make sure you don't skip over this section, which is the verification instructions. They do a good job telling you what to do. So like open in the terminal here, you can go here and type in terminal, click it, and put in some of those commands. So we're going to, bypass all that right now and just open up Core right now. So this is what this command you put in, and you're going to see this. Now, right now this computer is connected to the internet, but once you install Core, you can disable all your network connectivity on the laptop, like disabling Wi-Fi, if there's a Bluetooth functionality too. So you're going to see this screen pop up, and it's going to start trying to sync. But if you're not connected to the network, if you're not connected to the internet, it's not going to sync, which is what we want, because we want this to be the offline computer signing device, the thing that creates the private keys, because Bitcoin Core is the most viewed, validated, verified, looked at Bitcoin wallet software that there is. So if there's going to be a problem with how your private keys are generated or something, they're very, very, very likely to find it in Core. Way more likely than a lot of these hardware manufacturers, as we've just seen with Cold Card. So you can go ahead and hide this. And one thing to remember before we get into anything else is that this balance, the amount of Bitcoin you're going to have, is always going to say 0 because it's offline. So if it never connects to the internet, never starts downloading blocks, it's not going to see what UTXOs are associated with you. So don't worry when you open this up later on to spend something and you see this being 0. But what we're going to do now is actually close this because it's not actually the screen you're going to see. I was playing around with this a little bit before. So I already had a wallet created. So we need to create a new wallet. So you can go here, click this right there, or go up to File, Create Wallet, and we need to name this wallet. So we'll call it Rollo Offline. I wouldn't worry about encrypting the wallet. It's just going to put a password on it. And make sure you do not check either of these boxes. Just hit create. That's going to create your wallet. And so what we're going to do next should be pretty similar to what you're used to with a hardware wallet. Actually, I haven't really. I mean, the only hardware wallet I've ever used was a Trezor way, way, way back in the day. When I first got into Bitcoin, until I started learning and realized, I want to have a little bit better of a security setup. So what we need to do is we need to have the online wallet have information about the offline wallet. And so we need to give the public key to it. So how do you do that in Core? So you go up to Window, then to Console, click that. And basically what the console is it's like opening a terminal and typing command lines, but it's just all the Bitcoin back-end kind of commands you can do. So if you wanted to play around and see what's going on with this, you can type help, and it's going to show you all the commands that are available for you to do stuff. But right now what we want to do is we want to be able to create a watch-only wallet so that we can create addresses, see the balance that we have of Bitcoin, and then create unsigned transactions that we can then ferry back to this offline instance of Bitcoin Core where we can sign the transaction and send it back to be broadcasted. So the way we do that is you type in list descriptors, and it's nice. It'll try to auto-complete it for you when you start typing. Hit enter, and this is going to show all of the descriptors associated with this wallet. Now, there's different types of wallets, like Taproot. There's something associated with that. You see the TR. There's SegWit stuff, a couple different types of SegWit things. So the first thing we want to do is make this a little bit easier on ourselves. So we're going to open Notepad, which is not shown. Oh, that's because Notepad is a Windows thing. Text editor. So open that, and we want to copy the stuff in here. And for right now, what we're going to do is, because I'm going to show you something else too, a little bonus thing about how to use Bitcoin Core if you have that as an online wallet. If you have a node set up already, you can create a watch-only wallet in Bitcoin Core for this. So you see where it says wallet name, it's Rollo Offline, and then descriptors. Where this bracket is, you want to start highlighting from there. Highlight all the way down to the last bracket. Copy that. And because we're going to be playing around with this, we'll just paste it in here. But really, to take a step ahead real quick, and this is kind of the best thing you can do, is if you want to create, if you have a node already set up with Core. Now, I'm doing this on the offline wallet, but obviously we'd do this on the online version of Core. You go back to create wallet, and you could say Rollo watch only, and you want to disable private keys. It's going to create a blank wallet for you. You hit create, go again up to Window, Console, and up here, since now it's not going to be this case, but when you're in the console, you're going to be, working on a certain wallet. So make sure it's the right wallet you're on. So we want to be on the watch only. And what we're going to do is type in import descriptors, and then paste in what we had just copied. Hit enter, and it's an invalid syntax. So I forgot something. Right when I hit enter, I remembered. And one thing, too, that you can do is if you don't know how to use something, you can just type in the command, and it'll give you information about it, how to do it. So one thing I forgot was you need the single quotation mark on either end of the descriptor string. So you add that on both sides, hit enter, it's executing, and it worked. And then you can go back to your watch only wallet, and you can, receive addresses as you normally would, create receive addresses as you normally would, and go from there. One thing to do too is if you're doing this, and make sure you do it for both your offline and the online wallet, go to settings, options, and where it says wallet, we already did that, didn't we? All right, well, it's a double check. Make sure you do it on your watch only wallet too, because when you have your watch only wallet, there's no keys associated with it. And so you need to use the PSBT functionality. If you use Cold Card, I'm sure you have some familiarity with that. So we are going to talk a little bit about these descriptors. And if you don't have Core and you're just basically trying to replace your Cold Card with an old laptop and Bitcoin Core as your signing device, then you're probably used to dealing with the XPub. And as I said, there's a couple different descriptors in here depending on what you're doing, but recommended you go all the way down to the WPKH, and you can just copy that XPub and put it into whatever watch-only wallet software that you want. I know that Blockstream Green has some additional functionality that you can put in descriptors. So what you would do is you would copy this between the whole descriptor, between the quotations, and for both of these, because there's two. I think this has to do with one's like generating just like a regular address. The other one's for generating change addresses. So you can just copy both of these into a watch-only wallet on Blockstream Green, and you can use that as your online wallet. And with that, that's pretty much all you need to do. This is really kind of streamlined. I didn't really want to spend too much time on this, but just wanted to show, it's not difficult to use Bitcoin Core as a signing device. It's way, way, way more secure than anything else you're going to use. And the other benefit is if you're using an old laptop, you're using generic hardware, the likelihood that there's going to be some sort of attack on that hardware, like a supply chain attack, is really, really, really reduced, because most people aren't going to be using a laptop for something like this. And so it wouldn't be a very profitable endeavor. It wouldn't be efficient for an attacker to go and try to install malware on every single laptop that's out there. And then on top of that, you're going to flash it with a new installation of Ubuntu. So the likelihood that you're going to have a problem that way is really, really low. The other thing that you can do is you can just use this as a hot wallet. It's going to be way, way, way more secure than obviously Cold Card. But, make sure that this is enabled, and it's going to take some time to sync, but it'll sync eventually, and you won't need to do the ferrying across. You can just use this as a wallet that has the keys and the transactions associated. It simplifies it a little bit. I'm going to make one other point about that. Oh, if you are going to do that, then it might take some time to download the blockchain. So you might want to have an SSD is going to be a little bit faster. But if you're just using a laptop as a watch-only wallet, the amount of data that you're going to have on this is going to be really low because you're not downloading the blockchain. You're going to be installing Ubuntu and Bitcoin Core, pretty much. So you can use, to make this a cheaper setup, you can buy a laptop with an HDD hard drive, a hard disk drive. They are not as fast, but they are way cheaper, and you can buy one with only a little bit of space on it, so you're not wasting money on that. And then you also don't need that much RAM because you're not really doing intensive computing, and it's really only for one thing. So you can save a lot of money. You could probably buy a laptop that's cheaper than a cold card was anyway. One other thing, one kind of nuance with Bitcoin Core that is going to be different for you is that most wallets use BIP39 for the mnemonic seed phrase, which is all the words that you write down, the 12 or 24 words that you write down. Bitcoin Core, they decided that was not safe enough for them to put into Bitcoin Core, and so they use a different way to generate a private key. And it's not human readable. So in order to back it up, you're going to need to use another method, which is going to be a digital way. So you can use, a thumb drive. That's not going to last that long. Since it's flash to memory, there's a lifespan to it. But using a CD or something that you burn is going to be good. An M disk, they're supposed to last like 1,000 years. But otherwise, just keep that in mind. And at some point, you should probably just reburn the CDs or recopy the flash drive just to make sure that you have a fresh backup of it. And where you're going to find your wallet is go to your File Explorer and Files, and initially when you go in, you're not going to see where the wallet file is. So what you got to do is go up to these 3 lines up here for your options and click Show Hidden Files. That's going to show a .bitcoin folder. You're going to double click into that, and then you're going to double click into wallets, and you're going to find your wallet that you want to back up and just copy that wherever you're going to back it up to. And here it's got the wallet.dat file. I would be careful about copying the wallet.dat file because it says wallet.dat, and for all these different wallets in here, it all says wallet.dat, so it could be a little bit confusing. So just copy the folder over, and if you need to restore it, there is a restore wallet functionality, and you just go find it. Go find the file and open it, and you're good. So if anyone has any questions about this, I'm more than happy to answer. Shoot me a comment, a direct message. Plenty of ways to reach me. So thanks for watching this. I sincerely hope that you have not lost any Bitcoin, and if you have, it's really awful. And you didn't do anything wrong. You were sold a product that did not deliver on the promises that had, and the vast majority of people in the Bitcoin world were telling you that this was the absolute best-in-class way to hold your Bitcoin. So it's really, as I said, really terrible, really unfortunate. But if you're here listening to this and starting to do this, then you're on a much better path, and you should be good to go. So All right, thanks for watching, and be sure to share this out with people who might need this help. All right, thanks, guys.